Joining me now is Congresswoman Donna, Democrat from Maryland. She co-chairs the Congressional Women's Caucus and chair of the Democratic Women's Working Group. Thanks for being here, Congresswoman.
Thank you, Reverend. Wow, shocking statements there from my Republican colleagues.
I've got to ask you about that. Do you find it condescending to say that women should get equal pay for equal work?
Well, you know, here's what I think. I mean, they're talking about politicizing equal pay. No, we don't want to politicize it. We just want to pay women equal to what their male colleagues make in the same jobs, the same experience, working alongside them. And this is really an issue that is important to women and to families who are deprived of the income that women would ordinarily be entitled to if they were paid equally.
You know, the president says this isn't just about economics to him. He says it's personal. Listen to this.
I've got 2 daughters, and I expect them to be treated just like anybody's sons. And I think about my single mom working hard, going to school, trying to raise 2 kids all at the same time. And I think about my grandmother trying to work her way up through her career and hitting the glass ceiling. And I've seen how hard they've worked, and I've seen how they've sucked it up. We have the power to do something about it for the next generation. And this is a good place to start.
He says that we have the power. Congresswoman, what will it take to make this happen?
Well, you know what? The reality is, here in the House of Representatives, it only is going to take about 20 Republicans to join with every Democrat who's signed on to the Paycheck Fairness Act. It's being considered in the Senate. And so those senators who are standing in the way, a handful of Republican senators, could make the difference between for equal pay, for equal work for women. And so it's not going to, it doesn't take a lot. I think the voices of women all across this country, Republicans and Democrats, have to be raised because, you know, when you consider that today women earning 77 cents on the dollar, you know what, we just started getting paid today for the work that we put in since the beginning of the year. For African American women, 64 cents on the dollar. For Latinas, 54 cents on the dollar. That deprives us of thousands of dollars in real income today, but also thousands and thousands of dollars that we could contribute to our own retirement security. So this is a pocketbook issue, and as the president said, it's not a myth, it's just math.
You know, the right is really hammering home the idea that pay equity is a myth. Watch this.
Yeah, the equal pay for equal myth. Can we talk about things that are in reality and not something based upon a bunk study?
They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Now they think you're anti-woman if you question that meme about equal pay.
To focus on this issue of a piece of legislation that we already have laws that protect it is nonsense.
This equal pay for women thing, which is old hat and not even applicable anymore.
Well, what's your reaction?
Well, those guys and women are really living in the Mad Men era. The fact is that women are paid less on the dollar to a man for the same job and the same experience and the same education, and it's wrong in 2014 for that to happen. And you know what? The women of America, all across the board, an overwhelming majority of women know that it's true because they experience it, like the president's mother, like the president's grandmother. We experience it, and so we know it. And so, you know, this idea that somehow, you know, things are being made up is just not true. And ask any woman in virtually any sector of the economy, and she will tell you that she is not being paid the same as a man for equal work. Let's stop that kind of discrimination, pass the Paycheck Fairness Act, and make sure that women make equal to men and grow our economy. This is about growing our GDP. It's about growing our economy if we're paying women equal to what men earn for the same job, same education, and same experience.
You know, the pay gap really adds up for women over time. Take a look at this. Over her career, a typical full-time working woman will lose $431,000. With that money, she could buy a house in the U.S., put 2 kids through college, but nearly 22,000 gallons of gas she could get and feed a family of 4 for over 6 years. But Congresswoman, equal pay is only one piece of the puzzle. You've worked on an economic agenda for women with other Democrats. Why is that so important?
Well, I am, and it's like the president has said, when women succeed, America succeeds. And whether that is about paying a higher minimum wage, including a tip minimum wage, and making sure that we have access to quality, affordable child care, making certain that we get 1 day of paid leave off. I mean, these are basic guarantees that we should have in every single workplace that would make a huge difference in women's economic lives, but it would make a huge difference in the American economy. And so our women's economic agenda, when women succeed, America succeeds, is about growing all of our economy for every American, men and for women.
Congresswoman Donna Edwards, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Still ahead, the Attorney General